Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell and welcome to 10,000 and Below, where I take a look at all the games that are ranked 10,000 or lower on Board Game Geek, a huge database about board games, and tell you what I think of some of the games. I look at some of the games for the first time. It's very much off the cuff. Today we're at game ranked 11101. In fact, in this we'll look at game ranked 11111111. But anyhow, here we go. Let's get started today. First, we're starting with a game called Wallet. Now, Wallet is a nice little game that actually comes in a wallet. And in this game, you are taking different cards and putting them into the wallet. You're trying to stuff the cards with various things, take cards out of the wallet. It's a unique game in that regard. It's a 2 to 7 player game. Kind of works better with more players. A silly little game that I liked. I don't know that I love it. And it has kind of, you played a few times, and yeah, you've seen a lot of what's in it. But it certainly is an interesting game. Wallet. All right, moving down here, we have Battlespace. This came out in 1993 here. So let's take a look. This definitely has the feel of a kind of a war game. Maybe more than that. Like the ships look kind of cool. I've not heard of this game at all. I don't think. It's a very generic name. Chris Hartford came from Descartes and FASA. Oh, okay. So the folks who made, well, I guess Battlespace, that font itself looks a lot like Battletech. Oh, it has Battletech up in the corner. Well, there you go. I just learned something. All right, interesting. All righty, jumping down here. Pepper and Carrot, the potion contest. That's right, I played this one. I don't know if I've ever reviewed it because I was not impressed with this one. Now, I will say this. The game itself made me go read the comic, and I enjoyed the comic. So the online comic was fine. But this game, which had really bad rules, unfortunately, did I review it? I did not, but I didn't like this one at all. You're just trying to put these different potions out in a very specific order. The rule book is really badly written. The game itself, once I figured it out, was kind of meh at best, unfortunately, because the theme is fun. Under My Bed. Well, let's take a look at this one here. Chris Rowans. Yeah, this is Chris Rowans is one of the lead people who works with the Prospero Hall. So he's actually designed quite a few more games than you might think, having seen just the two here. So I've not played this one. One kid is you're all monsters, but one kid is secretly a kid in a monster costume. I think I saw this movie, Little Monsters, right? It's a micro game, and then you're just asking each other questions, and the kid is trying to figure out which monster's under the bed. Okay, so it's a little bit like Spyfall. I like this concept. This sounds like a fun little game. Alrighty, Word Jam. Wow. Last time I reviewed this one was a long time ago, a decade ago, and it's a word game. And I remember this one from Da Vinci Games, sorry. Well, they're now DV Games. And Mayfair Games from Walter Obert, and this is just abysmal on how the game looks, but it is a word game. And I got to remember how you play this one. There's consonants. The first consonant may not be used players in word, but the other ones you use, and they get values. You have to think of a word that uses some letters, but not the rest. Okay, so it's one of those games. Probably won't stay as a 7 when I re-look at it at some point. All right, Vanished. Well, this one here, it's an elevator, and you're moving down. So this game has 7 thick cards. You're going up and down the lift, and you're going to drop them. Man, I have to say I like the motif of this game, a game of mystery. Who went down the elevator? Huh, but it is ranked very lowly, considering it came out in 1990. Interesting. Huh. All right. Then we have Bollocks, or Bollocks. Not sure how to pronounce this one here. This is an abstract strategy game of marbles. And get 5 pieces in a row. Black goes first. But then if you have 2 pieces between your own, you get to be evicted. Okay, so it's the sandwich move. That's what they're calling it. So I guess it's not always black. There's a red and yellow version. There it is. Okay, so you're just trying to get 5 in a row. So it's a little bit like Yinch, I see. Any game of marbles, I think, is fun to play at least a little bit, except Chinese checkers. All right, here we go. 11111 is Diceland Cyborg. This came out in 2005. It's from James Ernest. And it's the 5th installment in the Diceland series. And I've never played any of the Diceland games, but looks like you have built some custom dice here. And then you roll them and various things happen. All right. That was less exciting for the game 11111 that I had hoped for, but there you go. So moving down here, Manimals is a little game that you should check out. That's Europa. They're just animals in there. Words, star maps. Double Shutter. I think Double Shutter was one of the first games I played from Blue Orange Games. Nowadays, Blue Orange is a very different company than when I played this game. I remember getting Double Shutter and thinking, oh, this is just a very abstract game. It's okay, right? It's you roll dice and then flip down the different numbers that you roll. And you're trying to fill the whole, you're trying to shut all these things down. It's great production values, and that really got me thinking about Blue Orange and their production values, and they've certainly kept those as the time gone by. But this is very mass marketing. Here's the island of Dr. Lucky. So Dr. Lucky apparently lives on an island. The hunter becomes the hunted. Now you're trying to do this. You're trying to murder the man, and so it's very similar to Kill Dr. Lucky, except this time you're trying to avoid pitfalls yourself. This one obviously was not as popular as the original game. Alrighty, jumping down here. Oh, this one, Flashlights and Fireflies. This is a game from GameRight, which you are essentially, you're moving around. I'm trying to remember how it plays now. It plays with kids. You're moving around. You're using your flashlight. Okay, give me a bit here to remember how it plays. You have to catch fireflies to power up your flashlight and then shine it on other players before they sneak back to the home base. Get back to home base first and you win. Yes, I remember that the kids enjoyed this one. It's been a while since I played this one, 5 years ago, but I do remember my kids liking this one. Banned Books. Well, that's an interesting name. It's a solo game where you are featuring ousted literary characters fighting back against the powers that be to restore the books to their shelves. I like the concept of that a lot. Huh. Banned Books. Huh? Well, there you go. Alrighty, Lucky Captain has got quite a few things. And then there's Gemblow Q. We'll take a look at both of these real quickly. Lucky Captain is another one from Blue Orange Games. I don't know that I have played this one, though. This looks like the original box version of it. I feel like I saw this one at one point, but I don't think I've ever played it. Yep. Oh, Sam. Sam played it, called Clear for Takeoff Review. Okay. Gemblow Q. So Gemblow is a game in which you are trying to place. It's very similar to Gemblow, except it uses hexagons. Except for this one here, which is, that's similar to Bollocks. I'm sorry, but with hexagons. Except this one here looks a whole lot like Bollocks. This was in Korea, although that looks a little cooler than Bollocks. Yeah, it really is kind of like Bollocks. That's really funny. But they call it Gemblow Q. Alrighty, let's moving down here. We have Saras Vision. Saras Vision, which unfortunately I said was okay at best. This came out last year, was one I was super excited about. If you've not seen this one before, it essentially comes with this tower here of Jenga pieces, and you're playing a cooperative game, trying to accomplish different goals by pulling pieces out from this tower to accomplish those goals. I believe we played this one live on our channel at some point, so you can go watch that. But that is Saras Vision. It's a neat idea, but it is a gimmicky game, and the gimmick I don't know is strong enough to you want to keep playing it over and over again. Here's Wembley. This is from 1952, one of the older games we're looking at. And so here you are, different football teams going on trying to win the FA Cup. And this is from Gibson Games, so this is a really old style game. Yeah, it's fun to look at these games sometimes. This is definitely the kind of game that when I was a kid, if I had found this in the store, I would have been completely fascinated by it, where they have all these information and charts on the board. But, man, yeah, that's nostalgic, but really bad graphic design. Alrighty, let's see, Seven Souls. This is coming out in 2020, and I just reviewed this. All right, so this is from Connor McGooey. This is a game in which you are trying to collect different cards. There's Cthulhu. Actually, I believe you're trying to bring out Cthulhu in this game. And by doing that, getting rid of these annoying detectives at the top of the board. So you're playing some number cards. You flip over the cards. You look at the cards in order, and then you will either get some victory point tokens, some power tokens, and/or cards that will help you. You have this little deck of cards. It's okay. The whole thing comes together in an okay way. I don't know if I want to keep playing it over and over again. And there is a decent amount of luck in the game, but the components and theme are really well done. Hey, it's Split. Why have I not ranked Split? I'm going to give Split a solid 6. Split is a game in which your cards are, well, split. Let's see if I can find them. Yep, there you are. You have half cards, and you put them together. It's an interesting game. Eric Summerer likes this a lot more than I do. I think it's okay. I think the concept is a lot of fun, but this game itself, which I believe this is the box that I had at one point, this one in particular here, it's more of a gimmick, I think, than it is actually a great game, but came out in 99. I'm pretty sure I got it maybe a year or two after it came out. It's been a long time since I played it. QBO, Grayhawk Wars. Well, we always try to look at ones that have over 100 ratings here. This is definitely a war game. Came out in 1991 from TSR. And so, well, that's a cool looking board. So is this... almost looks like is this a fantasy? Wow, really bad. That must be extra stuff that people made for the game. Yeah, it's Dungeons and Dragons role-playing system, a war game set in that time frame. Huh. It actually doesn't look that complex. I mean, you got these numbers on these cards. Ogre, Bugbear, Troll, Gnoll, Hobgoblin, Bullywug. I don't think I've ever come across a Bullywug. Where's the gelatinous cube? Alrighty, let's keep moving here. Combo Fighter versus Pack 2. I'm going to give that one an 8 because Combo Fighter is a great little game. I just haven't put all the different combo packs down. This is a fast, basically, it's like a fighting game, a fighting style game, but it's really fast and very entertaining as you're trying to outdo and outplay the other person. Then we got Inferno. This is 140 ratings here from Reiner Knizia. A card game, 100 cards, 4 values of 1 to 5 and 5 different colors. You get 12 cards, but if you can't play a card, you have to take them all. Okay, so this is very similar to that style of game. I need to find out what we call that game where if you can't play a card, you take all of them. Very abstract, very, very Dr. Knizia. All right, Vita Mors. I just reviewed this one last year. It's a little game here inspired by the Black Death type game in which you are trying to collect these different people with different symbols. Each turn you're going to play a card that's going to give you some sort of ability. There's a lot of symbology. It has some nice, neat artwork. And I didn't hate the game. I just thought that it was meh. It felt like kind of what you picked, and then the winning conditions weren't as interesting to me either. It just felt like you did a lot of obvious things in the game. Colts Across America. Now, the one thing I remember about Colts Across America, because I picked this game up, like physically picked it up in board game stores many times, and every time I picked it up, it was mind-boggling, a big size box, and it felt like it was full of air. Now, this is from Jet Ball and Atlas Games, and he still is at Atlas Games. In fact, I believe I've interviewed him on the Dice Tower show before. So this is about Cthulhu before Cthulhu was very popular, and you can tell it has that look of these older style games. Yeah, this is a game that's like a piece of its time. 1998, it was kind of like already looking a little old in that frame. This is more of like an 80s style game. But a lot of people have played it, not very highly rated. There's one of the many, many Rick and Morty games I'm sure we will run across as we go through here. Let's take a look at a couple games here. We have Vivarium. This is from Tiny Maki. This came out 2017. I don't believe I've seen this game. That's not a bad cover. Artwork's pretty good. Artwork's fantastic, actually. I like that artwork a lot. Huh. The components. Oh, the components aren't bad. Wonder why I've never heard of this one. 1 to 8 species starting out. There's 192 cards, 170 tokens. There's a lot of pieces in this one for sure. So what do the comments say about it? I'm curious. What a disappointing play. Horrible rulebook. Horrible rulebook. Horrible rulebook. Well, there you go. Folks, you got to make a good rulebook. All right. Cite. This is from 2010, 10 years ago, where you're building a city with wood cubes, metal nuggets, pieces of fabric, etc. A tile-looking game. Got to say, I like how it looks. It looks like there's different player colors, and you're putting them down. That's a computer version of the game. Huh. Well, I don't know if the game is good or not, but it sure looks like a nice-looking game. So, la jour. I don't think this ever came out in English, probably. All right, Paradisio Democracy, Majority Rules. This game, I believe I did a paid preview for in the past, and then I don't know that this game ever was published, or if it was published, it didn't do very well. Yep, there's my Dice Tower preview. A long time ago, and I know that this was one of those. This was designed by guy who made Vampire the Masquerade and Werewolf, etc. Yeah, this is an interesting game in which you are looking at how all these different things are connected. There's a lot of back and forth negotiation, but if I'm understanding correctly, very much a very, very, very disgruntled Kickstarter-backed project. As in, I'm not even sure the game went out to everybody. I don't have a copy of it. This game's called You Suck. It is from Bezier Games, Alsbach. It is about ticks who are sucking blood. Thus the name of the game. It's just a simple card game. I liked it. It was fine. I'm having a hard time remembering what it's about. It's been 7 years since I played it. But I just remember it was a simple little card game that I said was okay. Three of a Crime. I like this game. Three of a Crime, I mean, it's definitely for kids, but you are looking at one of the cards and you're trying to figure out what the card is that I'm looking at by playing cards from a deck and all. There's different, you can see there's different people on these cards. So Johnny Cortex, No Neck Nick, Kid Cassidy, and you are playing these cards using very simple deduction to figure out the card that the other person has. Simple deduction for kids, something I'm a big fan of. Visual game, as opposed to the non-visual game. It's like Pictionary with variants. Well, there you go. Enough talk. Infinity Dungeon, Peril Without End. This came out 8 years ago. I reviewed it in 2013. It's a storytelling game. This is from Brad Talton from Level 99. He did a whole bunch of little games. Noir was by far the best. He put all these games together. This was an okay one. It was a storytelling game, but didn't really do as well as the rest. There's Draculas Feast, New Blood. This is from Jelly Bean Games. I was literally looking at this game this morning on the shelf going, I wonder if I could play this with my kids. So I'm going to have to go and look at it to see, because most time you can play Jelly Bean Games with the kids. All right, sliding down here to Word Around. Word Around's a clever little game. I mean, it's kind of a one thing. You're going to turn over cards. Let me see if I can find a card. There we go. There's a picture of one. And you look at that card, and you can see they're pointing at the S, so it's easy. Shampoo, But then look at the middle one. What's the word there? Is it Sreva, Sessa, Reserve, Reverse? Reverse is the orange one, and then the middle one's Island. I can see the middle one. And so you turn over a card, and the color of the back of the one tells you which circle you're doing. It's very straightforward, but it's a nice little game to play with kids and families. I liked it. Cannibal Pygmies in the Jungle of Doom. As we're going through this 10,000 and below, this is the third one we've run across now of this series by Steve Tassi and Z-Man Games, in which you are just making these weird B-movies and putting them together. And it's not that great of a game, but it is silly and entertaining as you make this weird movie together. This, I believe, this was the first one that I played in this grouping. It might be the first one that came out. It's such an interesting thing. I mean, this is one of the first games that Z-Man ever did, these different games. The Hobbit Adventure board game. Iron Crown Enterprises. You're a hobbit trying to help beat the dragon at Carndum. You have to defeat the dragon. That's what hobbits do. Yeah, okay, so I'm looking at these different pictures here. There's actual miniatures? Who made this? Iron Crown, 1994. Queen Games did it. Huh. Really not so bad. Decent, but nowhere near the best, to say these reviews. All right, this is kind of an older game. I don't think I've ever saw this one. I wonder if this was a game that came out mostly in England. That's what it looks like. AllStar Baseball, 1941. Well, I played this a lot as a kid. And you stuck these wheels in and spun the spinner to see what would happen. I remember this game very fondly. Played this a lot. It's a lot of luck, you know. But it was just neat because it took statistics and put them in a spinner. All right, electronic Battleship Advanced Mission. Well, that sounds interesting. As a kid, I was so jealous. I had Battleship, but there was other kids who had electronic Battleship. But this one, look at this. There's airplanes on these things. I don't even know what this one's about. Recon 1 and 2. It probably just added some extra rules and was still essentially Battleship. But it looks cool. Man, I would have loved aircraft carrier, Battleship. Oh, it has this looks better than Battleship. I wonder why it's, well, Battleship's probably way down on the list. We're probably going to come to Battleship near the end of this. That looks cool, though. All right, the Great Wall. And this is another one of those ones that we're looking at now, and this will be firmly in the top 5,000 eventually. I played this one. It's from Awakened Realms. This is very different than most of their games, which are usually their games are big and sprawling. This one's definitely big, but it is a worker placement game in which you are kind of cooperatively defending the wall, but you're trying to be the best person to defend the wall with loads of special abilities per player. Really enjoyed this one. I haven't given it a rating yet because I want to see the final game itself, but already I think it would just be an excellent, just based on my couple plays I've played already. Halali, not sure what that one is. And Black Stories Real Crime Edition and World Series of Yahtzee. Let's jump and look at these. This one here is 1800, seek the last hare in Bavaria. They never hit the hare, but they do manage to shoot each other. All right. That sounds like a cartoon type thing. I like the pieces for this game. So the hare will never get shot, but you can shoot each other. That's a funny theme, I guess. Black Stories is a game where you have a weird scenario and everyone asks you questions until they figure out the weird scenario. I'm not a huge fan of Black Stories. It's okay, but it's a way to pass time on a car trip. World Series of Yahtzee. There's different tiles, and you're going to put them on a raised board. I feel like I played this game. Maybe I played a version of this one. I've definitely seen this one, where you are rolling your dice and then trying to get the different tiles that are on the board. It's just another version of Yahtzee. Not as good, though, as Triple Yahtzee. All righty, well, we're coming to the end of this one. Let's slide down and see if anything there's. Chinese chess. 1981. So this can't be actual Chinese chess. This is called something else. Wow. I wonder why it's called Chinese chess, because it's not. Yeah, Zhangqi, the real Chinese chess, though. It has nothing to do with that, it says there. Okay. And you're trying to jump. It looks like Chinese checkers, although that's also a game, too. Pretty low-quality components. And let's see. Dice of Pirates, Flippin' Fruit, Hell Rail, Second Perdition. I'm going to quick mention this one here because I know a lot of people, this one you are delivering the souls of the damned. I never played this game, not a huge fan of the theme, but it kind of had this weird theme that also was a train game that a lot of people liked. I definitely have heard of this one. Nuts, another war game. And that looks like that's it. Electronic Taboo is only ranked 42. Anyway, Celtic Quest is the last one for today that we're going to take a look at. It's AD 41 and Britain is ripe for invasion by Claudius's legions. You are a young Celt on the brink of adulthood and you visit the High Druid who has foretold your destiny. A victory point game. I got to be honest, I thought this was a war game. Still looks a little like a war game with hexes and counters. Not great graphic design, but some people must have enjoyed this, but not too many people because it is ranked 11,200 from JKLM Games. I think they're out of business at this point in time. And that came out 15 years ago. Well, there you go. I kind of breezed through there. A lot of different games to look at. Are there games I missed? Games you want to talk about? Mention those in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching 10,000 and Below on the Dice Tower.